Alright, manga fans, back with another video. We're in chapter 9 of Steel Ball Run. The race is almost over, guys. Just 2 or so chapters left. Then finally move on from it. The race is not bad, but it's a lot too long. I find it too long, but that's just me. And it's not a bad idea either, focus on others, be something different. But I don't know. You know, with JoJo, not much to make it doesn't really feel interesting. But it's probably just me. So I'm glad this race is almost over. Sheesh, lasted this long. Rocky is very detailed, I admit. I prefer his art. But, you know, it's just my opinion, though. Everyone has their own opinions. If you like it, that's fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You like what you like, you hate what you hate. I'll tell you what you should and shouldn't do. So, anyway, let's get into this chapter, or we can finally get the last 2 chapters of the race. So the chapter continues where we left off. As Poco Loco Slug's working with him. As they're approaching the hill. This chapter doesn't really focus much on Johnny. You don't get a small amount of dialogue at this point. So this chapter focuses mostly on Gyro and Poco Loco. You know, she dismisses Poco Loco. You know, just a fool and stuff. But Poco Loco seems to have a lot of luck. And it seems that luck may be helped or amplified by some men. Some men are speaking of Poco Loco. A stand. Poco Loco has a stand. But not much is expanded upon it, sadly, throughout the part. Like I said, Poco Loco doesn't really appear much after this race. Why didn't you, like, it'd be a fun recurring character. Listen, he didn't participate in these stand battles, but they could have used the idea of stands working into the horse battles. You know, use tactics while riding on a horse, calculate raising abilities with the horses. That'd be such a unique concept for a race. You know, but keeps the stand from but works into the race. That may have made it a little more interesting for me, but I digress. So yeah, Poco Loco's a natural born stand user. Going to Xbox, it doesn't seem to be creating luck. Might be amplifying it though. So Poco Loco's always been a lucky bastard. A quirky black guy in 19th century America. Don't you start hiccuping again. God, that doesn't happen. So anyway, the stand gives a lot of courage to Poco Loco. As they right towards the hill. And down the hill. Poco Loco runs down at full speed. Joe thinking what kind of strategy he has. But Joe usually dismisses the ball thinking he's just an idiot. Oh yeah, Stan warned Poco Loco off to avoid the cow. So it seems to really predict the future as well. And that prediction ended up coming true in a way. It seems like Poco Loco fell down, but turns out he got lucky and landed on a cow's cow bones. Now I had to go down here without wasting much energy, and most of the other races are down. Except for probably Johnny, Gyro, and Diego. Because they know their horses. They're very skilled in their rights. While Johnny and Diego are both jockeys. I say Diego's backstory is just as something as Johnny's. Not Johnny. Dio's. Sorry. Let me stop then. I don't know how. But it seems Diego's backstory is more sympathetic compared to Dio. There's Dio, who did grow up poor neighborhood. He had a kind mother, but she ended up dying because of that abusive husband, Dario. And that bastard finally died. Dio did not look back. But of course, he's evil incarnate. Now, this isn't Diego's as evil as Dio. Seems, anyway. Like, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see Dio, like Brando, Dio go come more of a friend with the Dio. I don't. That's just me though, because I would love to see him a version of Dio as an ally to the JoJo's. Imagine that. I can't imagine that. Imagine it. A Brando, an ally to the JoJo's. Nothing but it'll be a cold day in hell before we see that. Actually, I want to see it. I want to see that. Like family means nothing. Like family legacy means nothing. You see, if your family's someone hates that other person, but you have a friend who's related to that person, you shouldn't hate them just because of that. That you trust them. I'm just saying. I just want this now, really. Imagine this: a version of Dio. That's a good guy. That's gotta be one funny thing to think about. I want to see you guys think about a story scenario where there's a good version of Dio. Like, that'd be so cool. All versions of Dio are evil, but what if it was one that was good? Something like that Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, where there was actually one Spider-Man that was completely evil. No joking, there was one, even though it was in a crappy cartoon. Anyway, enough on that was our idea. Pun not intended, really, then. So, yeah, since Pokelogo's now on head, Gyros has to use the steel balls, and the cliff is slowing down. But at that time, Sandman ended up jumping onto one of them, causing the Cliffy was on the crumble. But a bad time, and now Sandman's also on the hunt. People surprised to see where he came from, so he's running on foot. And there's a theory about Sandman much later on, but that's way later. And most likely will be in volume 8. Maybe. Volume 7, I'm sorry. As expected, volume 8 might be the last volume. I don't know. I'm just guessing in case there's no listens from the 9th volume. Now, in the cover of volume 7, it's the Working People in Magenta fight, which is pretty much later in the story. So most likely volume may be the last one. But no, still no. So most likely once the next volume releases, we'll be getting an official announcement on the JoJo's English release. Even though the anime is not out, doesn't exist yet, they still gotta release. Once they're done over the next 2 years or so, because this is gonna take a little longer. So the Stone one has 95 chapters, less than parts in Stone Ocean or any of the previous parts. That's just anyway. After that, the chapter ends. The race continues in the next chapter. So, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy my content, please thumbs up button. Want to see more? Subscribe to the channel, notification bell, but they always come out. All the videos comes out in the future. I'll see you guys later for more chapters. Super Jump out.